Hello, wonderful listeners. I am your host, Elizabeth Emery, a former professional cyclist. Every other week, through long-form interviews, I bring you stories from incredible female athletes and other women in sport. Hear Her Sports is still on break, but you've been able to enjoy some fabulous bonus episodes this month. Thanks for staying tuned. In this last bonus episode of 2024, we will again hear from pole vault superstar Katie Moon. Obviously, I am a huge fan. Katie does such a great job of explaining her sport and everything she thinks about during training and competitions, so I love to share what she says. This episode is directly from the press conference, which took place the day before the Katie Moon Pole Vault Classic, which was held at Olmsted Falls High School, where Katie began her career. As I mentioned last episode, the event really was special. It was so fun. All the athletes were right there to see, so up close. It was both shocking and spectacular to get such an up-close view of what the sport is like, how high they actually are jumping, and how the athletes warmed up and prepared for each jump. I highly recommend going to a pole vault competition if you have the opportunity. On social, you can see that they are often held in very odd places like malls. During the press conference, just by chance, Katie offered a perfect introduction to confidence, a topic I want to dig into during the upcoming year. The many ways confidence presents itself is fascinating, and Katie had some insightful words from her own experiences and from her coach. Already in past episodes, athletes have addressed the topic, but I want to know more and find some tips we can all use in our own training and competing, and maybe start thinking about it in new ways. The word, for me, belies the complexity of what actually goes into being confident on the field or court, or actually anywhere else, at work or home or with friends. I'm sure you have questions and thoughts about confidence, so email those to me, and I will add your ideas to the discussions I have with future guests. Email elizabeth@hearhersports.com. I cannot wait to read your notes. And don't worry, not every episode for the next year will be about confidence. As always on Hear Her Sports, my guests and I will have varied discussions about their sports and what is important to them. My guests join Hear Her Sports to share their stories in their own words, to inspire you, motivate you, and keep you curious. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a great episode today, so let's get to it with Katie Moon on confidence. And just a word, be prepared. We jump right into the conversation. You got asked about your injury, but I remember the first time we talked, or maybe it was it must have been the second time we talked during COVID. You were dealing with some other health issues.
Yeah.
So, how do you manage when things are not great?
Gosh,
Because that's such a big part of being an athlete.
yes, it's really tough. It's so easy to get hard on yourself and get frustrated, and I absolutely have. But something that especially the 2022 season taught me, I had a horrible season by all counts. I lost every meet. I no-heighted at least one meet. I cried every day in practice. I really crashed after the Olympics and had a very hard time coming back from that. But I showed up, I put in the work, and then on the day at World Championships, I was able to kind of pull it together. And that really showed me that, as long as you're doing what you can, what's in your control, still putting in the work, still getting the lift in, still getting the sprints in, or whatever you're capable of doing, on any given day, you can still show up and have a good day. And so I think that's calmed me in a lot of ways. One, I was always on this emotional roller coaster of if I have a bad day, I'm in the pits of despair. If I have a good day, I'm on top of the world. My coach would always say, you need to get off the roller coaster. It needs to be more even keeled. And a bad day does not mean you're a bad pole vaulter. Like, it's okay. And so I think that's that year, especially that World Championships, just kind of just calmed me and said, okay, you are good at this. Stop being so hard on yourself and so quick to believe that you're bad and not good and all of that. So yeah, so now that I'm going through something, it's just same kind of thing. It's like, okay, this stinks, but we are gonna do what I can do. I'm gonna do what I can do as well as I possibly can. And once it heals up and we're in a good spot, hopefully it'll come together. And thankfully that this Chula Vista meet showed that. Like I'm still in a good spot. We're just a little rusty at Prefontaine, and it's okay. The height's still there. You're still on good size poles. It's all of that. So
How do you manage? You talked about the roller coaster. I mean, one of the nice things about the roller coaster is that you do have those high
yeah.
days, and like motivates you and gets you excited when
Yeah.
when you need to be competing.
Right.
How do you manage being more even keel and the benefits of that, and being also able to pump yourself up during a meet when it's important?
Yeah, it's really just about how I focus in training, and if I keep it very logical, then the good days become more normal. And it was like I had to have a good day to ride out that feeling, to just try to do that again, as opposed to making it very cue based. And so it's nice because those good days are instilling confidence rather than, okay, I had a great day, I hope I'm good at this, and then just crash. So it's the good days are great because they do, it's like putting money in a bank, right? Like it just like coins in the piggy bank. And so when it goes well, it's another coin. And so as opposed to like, this is awesome, crash. So it's it's overall keeping me even keeled, but it's like a higher level of that, I guess.
Right. One of the things I'd like to talk about on the podcast a lot is confidence. Do you have a different version or understanding of what confidence is now that you've gone through that period that you talked about?
Absolutely. My coach is a big proponent for real confidence versus fake confidence. And what he means by that is I, in the past, really had to rely on fake confidence. And what I mean by that is I had to be feeling good. I had to have adrenaline. I had to have a bar up to hit a takeoff. I had to eat the right thing. It's a very superstitious, emotion-based confidence that's not real. And the way he taught me how to think on the runway, how to hit cues, how to execute, that instills a real confidence because I know on any day, no matter how I'm feeling, I can come down and hit a takeoff. And it just that instills a real confidence that you can't really take away. And so then when I come up to a meet, I just feel so ready. And that doesn't mean that I'm unbeatable. It just means that I'm going to make it difficult for you to beat me. I know how to execute. And so, yeah, we're big on real confidence versus fake confidence. And I think I'm really grateful for him because I was a very adrenaline based athlete. And
I really love that real confidence, fake
yeah,
confidence. That's awesome.
I can't take credit for that.
Well,
That's his word.
Have you been challenged in the last, let's say, year for that real confidence where it's not a good day, but you're having to compete? Have you
Yes.
experienced the challenge of that?
And I have noticed a huge difference in my emotions. And granted, it could also be I was diagnosed celiac and I'm on a gluten-free diet, which I do think is alleviating a lot of the stress because when your body is not absorbing nutrients, it's just like your gut is directly related to your mental health. And so it could be that, it could be what I've accomplished, it could be that 2022 season, but I distinctly remember my first meet in 2023, indoor meet. I only cleared my opening bar, and normally that would have just devastated me because I felt so good, I felt so ready, and I walked off, I'm like, okay, we'll come back next meet.
Yeah.
And then the next meet I came back and cleared 80, and I felt such a difference in that where, yes, if I have a bad day or like right now, there are some days when I walk up and I try and it's just too painful. I can't. And that would have just put me in such a bad place mentally and emotionally. And it really, it's like, okay, we're fine. Just go do what you can do. Get on a bike and give it the best bike workout you got and get in the weight room and lift as heavy as you can. And so it's so much better than it used to be. Absolutely.
That's great. When did you go gluten-free?
I found out the fall of 2022. So it was after my bachelorette party. I got the call like right before my bachelorette party. I'm like, I'm not implementing this until after. They can't stop me. But it's made a huge difference. I didn't think that I was sick, but I didn't realize how bad I was feeling when that's your norm. My brother was my brother's celiac, and he was noticeably ill. He was skinny. He was almost gray. He was just so sick because he couldn't absorb any nutrients. And so, because that's gluten just wears down your villi, and you can't absorb the things you need to. It's an intolerance, so it's ultimately kind of like attacking the body. And yeah, I just feel infinitely better in every way. So
That's great.
it's been cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that wraps up the bonus episodes this year. I hope you have enjoyed them all during the Hear Her Sports annual break. As we hear from lots of athletes on the show, rest is essential, and I've been getting some terrific rest and relaxation, and now I can't wait to get back into the full swing of things in the next episode. As I mentioned in the intro, but it's worth saying again because I'm really excited about it. This coming year, Hear Her Sports will be looking into confidence and what that means and the many forms it can take. I'm looking forward to discovering some good tools and new ways to increase and work with confidence. If you have a moment, do send me a note about your thoughts on confidence or any questions you have on the subject. It would be great if my guests could tackle your questions too. Email elizabeth@hearhersports.com or use the contact page from the website. Also on the website, find the Hear Her Sports Spotify playlists in a drop-down tab in the main menu, and also there, find ways to donate directly to the show. Producing Hear Her Sports is a lot of work, so donations to support those hours and expenses are always very, very much appreciated. You can donate easily from the Hear Her Sports Donate tab. I love talking about women's sports, and I'm glad that you do too. I'm always looking to spread the word about the show, so please tell your friends or anyone else you think would be interested. If you would like some stickers or business cards to keep or to give away, let me know. I'd love to send you some. Hear Her Sports is part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Return in 2 weeks because we will be back to our regular episodes. See you then. Bye-bye.
Hi, listeners. We wanted to take a moment to tell you about another podcast from Evergreen Podcasts and Sound Talent Media called Pit Lane Parlay. Pit Lane Parlay is the go-to podcast for IndyCar and motorsports-related news. Each episode, we discuss things like our favorite drivers, news clips from the last week, and generally giving each other a hard time about predictions we've made in the past and or life stories that have come up recently. We really have a lot of fun with it and really enjoy each other's company, and we hope you can come join us too. Join Pit Lane Parlay by following us on your favorite podcast today.